Speaking of large breasts... Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beer Brigade. I'm John Solo, you are not, and this is the lovely little Melissa Gramling back for
That
yet
always
another
makes me
week.
giggle.
The lovely little Melissa Gramling?
No, I'm Joan Solo and you are not.
It's a blatant ripoff of Chevy Chase from the 1977 cast of SNL, which is also the year I was born. I think I got that right. So, before we get into anything, inquiring minds want to know, how's the living situation? You still sharing a bed with your dad? What's going on here?
No. They left yesterday morning, go back to Florida, pack up everything, and then they're gonna get a U-Haul and haul everything up here.
Well, there you go. What's the thought process behind that? Is Florida worse than South Carolina? Are there opportunities? What's going on?
They're tired of hurricanes.
There you go.
No.
Now, didn't South Carolina just get hit, or was it just North Carolina?
Parts of Tennessee, South Carolina, and North Carolina, but it was more like a tropical storm.
I guess I'm not from the hurricane belt. I'm in Ohio. The difference between a hurricane and a tropical storm is just the strength and intensity of such a thing.
And the winds, yes.
So if we're going to rate that in like something you're familiar with, and so are the listeners and watchers here, how many bullets would a tropical storm be?
4.
Okay, and then a hurricane, that would definitely be a bullet breaker, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm an Ohio boy.
Well, we also have some people that are new to the show.
Right.
There's several new authors.
Excellent. Well, so before we get into all this and announce all the weekly updates, we should tell you that Melissa uses a 5-bullet system. Now, I'm not saying what bullets are. They're not
6.
to go into guns. I'll tell you that. 1 bullet is kind of spicy, not really. 2 bullets is a little bit spicier. 3 bullets, now you're getting something. 4 bullets, you might have to place an order to Amazon, and 5 bullets, that's serious intensity. You might have to maybe get some potassium in. And then there's a bullet breaker. That's where 2 Amazon trucks show up at once at your house and deliver items to you because you've broken things. I think that's about how it works. Is that right?
And lots of bananas and water.
Right. Lots of potassium here. So looks like we've got a good amount of releases to get to today. So I'm going to roll into them here. Our first audio release of this week was Stray. That is an paranormal fantasy romance from Outcast Mates by Lee Colgan, narrated by Tom Zadoyko. Tom, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, but it's fun to say. It sounds like a watch. I used to have like a Seiko watch.
Or Kiki Clark.
There you go. Next we had
Ahoy Daddy by T.L. Travis, narrated by Lamont Ridgell.
I think that's probably how it goes. Next we had one of our very own, Nowhere to Ride by Andrew Gray, narrated by Marcus Barton. Then we had
Forget Me Not by J.T. Ezra, narrated by Mal Grow.
Sure. Griot, I don't know. It sounds like a vacation spot. Next, we had Kisses at the Crossroads by Morgan Lysand, narrated by Zachary Zaba.
He's a busy man.
Yes, he is. Next, we had another one from him.
Tooth and Claw, Littles of the Night, Book 5 by A. Little. Okay. Narrated by Zachary Zaba.
Pretty descriptive in their name there. Convenient, too. I don't know how their parents saw that one coming. Next, we had Tadzio, Death in Verona by Mark Roeder, narrated by Mike Peterman. And then we had, it looks like, let me see if I can get this right here. We have an audio sample sent in by our lovely narrator friend, Dan Cowley. And here we go. Kick back and relax.
Hello, Dan Cowley speaking, and here's a little bit of info of the latest release to Leave My Tonsils, which is a book by Lark Taylor called Conflicted, which is a paranormal romance, enemies to lovers, and it's the first book in a series, in her new series, Here's the blurb, and see what you think of this. Micah, I've been alive for millennia and have yet to meet my fated mate. It's not something I've ever cared about. My heart already belongs to another, someone I can't have, someone who doesn't want me. Now I know we'll never be together. Unlike me, he's found his fated mates. 2 of them. That's fine. As leader of the Seraphim, heaven's most elite unit of angels, I don't have time for love. Apparently fate has other ideas. Meeting my mate on a battlefield outside hell is surprising to say the least, when you add in his uncanny resemblance to the man who broke my heart. It's safe to say I'm far from pleased. The fact that he's a demon, my natural-born enemy, is just the icing on the cake of this is never going to happen. It's a good thing I haven't been banking on meeting my mate and living happily ever after, because there's no way it's happening with Knox. It's not like Knox wants me either. He hates me with a ferocity I've come to expect from his kind. The 2 of us never being together is the only thing we can agree on. Still, there's a pull between us that neither of us can ignore, no matter how much I wish we could. What starts out as hate sex, a way to try and burn off the intensity between us, quickly blossoms into something more, something dangerous, something forbidden.
Ta-da! There we have the lovely Dan Callie. Dan, I hope you're doing well. Sounds like you're doing well. That was Conflicted. It is an MMP&R Enemies to Lovers Hopeless Blessed Book 1 by Lark Taylor, obviously narrated by our own Dan Callie. Next we had, and we'll go with your turn here,
Cracking My Heart, a Sucker for Love Mystery, Sucker for Love Mysteries Book 2 by K.L. Hires, narrated by you.
That's right. And I got to tell you, this was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed playing in that
Did
universe
you do
again.
2 story times for this?
I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know what I
Because
did
I thought I
last
saw
week.
2 different ones, and I'm like,
It could have
okay.
been. I don't remember. I don't know what I did last week, literally. But I remember really having fun narrating that. Thanks, Kat, for letting me work on it. Next, we had Rogue Community College, a Liberty House novel by David R. Slayton, narrated by Michael David Axtell. Then we had
Ignite, Sinro Enterprises Book 1 by Abigail Glenn, narrated by Liam DeCosmo and Corvin King.
Then we had A Spell for Heartsickness, a Cozy Romantasy, The Ruin Tithe, Book 1 by Alastair Reeves, narrated by James Joseph, who has 2 first names. Then we had
Ready, Set, Glow, Christmas Falls Book 8 by Rye Cox, narrated by Zachary Zaba.
Busy Man. Then we had Sorcery and Small Magics by Maiga. That's my best. Maiga Ducey, narrated by I don't know how to say this. Saren Sayward. You know what? You're just going to have to look that one up. I'm sorry. I know I'm completely mispronouncing at least the first name, but that just came out as well. Then we had
Unnecessary Roughness, the Package Deal Series, Book 3 by Rylan Richmond and Emerson Beckett, narrated by Alexander Sandis and J.F. Harding.
That was also one of my favorite movies in the 80s. Then we had The Crease, For Puck's Sake, Book 4 by Kriya Ratan, narrated by Sean K. Jane and Simon Dornett. Then we had
Kit and Basie? Okay. A cozy, immortal romance, Tales from Long Lily, Book 1. Wow. By Tess Carletta, narrated by Josh Inners.
Sure, I'm still stuck on Long Lily. I always wish I had one of those. Next, we had The Step Don't, Peach State Step Bros, Book 2, written by Devin McCormick and Riley Hart, narrated by Spider-Man himself, Tim Page. Then
he did a great job on the first one.
Well, I bet he did. He's fucking Tim Page, man. What do you expect? Next, we had a familiar cover.
Tatanka Spirit, Blackwood Pack, Book 13. Wow. By Mary Rundle, narrated by Nick J. Russo.
That man has particularly large pectorals, and it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but I've seen them a number of times now. Speaking of large breasts, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My wife told me this morning. Now I know, and knowing's half the battle, but make sure you get your mammograms out there. Anytime you see that cover from now on, think of mammograms. And finally, we had School of Fish, Fish Out of Water, Book 6 by Amy Lane, narrated by that bastard, Greg Tremblay. And for what everyone has been waiting for here, what you listened to or read this week. And take it away. I promise not to say a damn thing. Except for that. Dude, do you ever look at that cover behind that silver ties thing where that, I mean, it does. Look at it real close.
No, it doesn't.
I think she slipped a penis on. Anyways.
It's not a penis, it's a knee.
It's, you know what? I actually read every word of this book, and the man was hung like that could be his, knee, penis side. They're really large. Anyways.
Wow. They're always really large. Well, unless there's, anyway. Yes, I listened to this one. Super Ties by Patty Logan, narrated by you. It was a bullet breaker, of course.
Hell.
It was book 3 in the what series? I can't remember the series name.
It's a Silvers series, and it's not necessary to read any of the other books to get this one by any means. It does have a little bit of background, but totally not necessary.
But you did a fantastic job with Cassidy and Zach. I'm used to hearing Michael Dean do Cassidy. So, and you were spot on with how he did it, the voice for Cassidy. So I was happy about that. But it was a great book. You did amazing. Patty is amazing. And it's an amazing book.
Well, and with the
Word of the day is amazing.
Yeah, with the bullet breaker, are you walking all right this week? Is everything okay?
Yes, fine.
Just checking. You did a great job putting all this together. I really do appreciate it very much. Melissa does all of this behind the scenes. All I have to do is show up and make jokes. It's a wonderful setup. Y'all enjoy your week. Thank you all for hanging with us. Next week, we'll be back once again for your weekly breakdown of MM Romance audiobooks on... Oh, yeah. We'll be back on Halloween. Look at that. I don't pay attention to calendars and stuff, but
I got one in front of me, so
yeah, I've got a computer. I don't know, paying attention what day it is. What is today? Is Thursday? Yeah, we're filming. It's Thursday. So, but you're watching it on Monday. So have fun. Good luck. I love y'all. We'll see you next week. Bye.